Hello everyone, my name is Jenna Reddy, a CSC data science student at IIRE Hyderabad. My topic is about navigating the applet browser divide. The World Wide Web has emerged as a new application delivery platform. In response, developers are offering users sophisticated web-based Java applets that range from shopping carts to complex tools for genome mapping. These applets give you applications functionality without taking up space on your hard drive. But trailing behind the applet bounty are new usability questions. A major one, as this example shows, is how to make applet navigation seamless in the web browser domain. Java applets are programs you write in Java and integrate you into your web page. Although applets can provide functionality similar to traditional applications, the applet code need to be installed on the user's hard drive. Instead, the applets execute through Java compatible web browsers. Unlike standard web pages, which users simply visit and browse applet enhanced pages, let the user manipulate applet components and dynamically interact with information. However, because the web browser mediates users' interaction with applets, the user's browser's navigation model can interfere with how they experience an applet. As applet complexity increases, user reliance on a browser's navigation tools can cause unexpected consequences. The browser's buttons and menus and tools can be unexpected consequences. The browser's buttons and menus let us let users follow links along nonlinear paths through pages, letting them go backward and forward sequentially, as well as providing history lists and bookmarks. The web browser sustains a page metaphor, conveying boundaries such as top and bottom, previous and next, which is precisely that ability to landmark interaction with virtual pages that makes a web such a useful environment, useful as they are traditional navigation. These browser tools can be added if you rely on them to support user movement through dynamic applets. Thus, when you design with applets, you must either include applet navigation tools or accommodate those of the existing browser. Beyond browsing, several factors influence the relationship between browser navigation and applet navigation, including how many views an applet has, whether the applet has its own navigation buttons, and how the browser manages applet state information. And applets incorporate larger information domains. They begin to resemble complex desktop applications. In an applet, as in an application, you might have to move between different screens of information that comprise the applet's domain. For example, in a single applet domain of you might have a weather pattern simulation and reference material on different cloud formations. Each component would have its own view. To access both, you must be able to navigate between the views. This is different than navigating between web pages because all applet code resides in the HTML on a single web page and browser's navigation tools can navigate between pages. Figure 1 shows a web page with a link that executes an applet for a server administration tool. After the browser uploads the applet, it asks for you to for a login ID. As figure 2 shows, after you log in, the applet behaves much like a desktop application. The tool uses a tree structure menu as figure 3 shows, which lets you open items by double clicking, then access item options by tapping. Figure 4 shows the options in a tool. We can access setup and monitoring or security options within these sections. You can further manipulate the applet to administer the parameters of your server, which may reside across the network somewhere. Navigating within this applet seems reasonable, but it is now without hazards. As figure 4 shows, these are actually two sets of navigation buttons, those of the applet and those of the browser. Detour ahead. In JavaSoft, we conducted a usability study to see how users would manage these two sets of buttons. The results clearly indicate that users' expectations and experience with web browsers strongly influence with their interaction with the applet. As in the travel applet scenario, users tended to rely on browser buttons to navigate through applet views and preconception that results in extreme disorientation. Because the applet is launched within a web browser, users assume that these different applet views more were on different web pages. Thus, they thus expected to navigate between them as such and repeatedly use it to browser's back button to try moving from the view in figure 4 to the view in figure 3. The button would return them to the view in figure 3 is actually labeled services. When users selected the browser's back button, the they return to the previous web page. Depending on how your browser implements the Java Applet API, it's back and forward buttons and can command the applet to pause by calling the stop method, or play by calling the start method. Thus, when you select the back button, you pause the applet and return to the previous web page. If you then select forward, you would restart the applet with the information saved. However, all browsers do not implement the Java API in the same way. In some browsers, the back button determines the applet calling the destroy method before returning to the previous web page. If you then selected forward, the browser would call it init method and start the applet over, erasing information you may have already entered. Mapping beliefs. How can we create applets that behave in a manner consistent with user beliefs without web browser navigation? We redesign our test applet with this question in mind, because as users assume that the browser navigation buttons could be used to navigate the applet views. We design an environment that supports the web browser model while promoting a distinct applet identity. We redesigned the applet so that the only views in figures 2 and 3 would exist within the web browser. When the user selected an item from figures 3 menu, the applet would spawn a separate window outside the browser that displayed views of the individual services shown in figure 5. This window contains all the navigation elements relevant to the navigating within a service. A user could thus navigate from one service to another by selecting a new item for the tree menu, which remained view behind services new services window. In subsequent usability studies, we found that the new navigation model successfully accommodated users' beliefs about web browser navigation while letting them seamlessly interact with the applet. Because additional applet views were now in their own window, users no longer relied on the page model to navigate between them. Instead of defining the process navigation buttons, the users quickly adapted to the applet's navigation methods. Our integrated navigation model encourages appropriate interaction with the applet and behaves in a way that matches users' cognitive model of browser navigation. The new design encourages users to only use the browser's back and front forward button for inter-page navigation. Thus, users have whose browsers call the destroy method when the back button is pressed and likely accidentally lose state information during the more data rich intra-applet navigation. So here is a figure 1 and figure 2. So figure 1 is a Java server administration beta. So here is a start button and view button. Then from here we will go to the username and password. That is the login page where we want to log in. That is the admin. So it's like a desktop application. Now from here, so the server administration tool has a retrieve structure menu that lets users open items for by double clicking. So which service you want to select, you should select by double clicking it. Now figure 4 is about the tools offers users several options for setup, monitoring and security. It also introduces a new set of navigation buttons shown beneath the Java web server banner. If users operate the applet with these buttons, all is well. However, if they reflexively select the browser buttons, navigation can become confusing. It's not disastrous. So if you want to if you want to select anything, so you should double click and open it. You can enter your details, your required answer in it. So here's a figure 5. The revised applet spawns separate windows of individual services that are clearly distinct from the browser. So here is the service we selected and here is the review of it. Thank you.